Good evening, AsiaTEFL 2025 conference organizers and participants. Now I'm going to show my presentation on the theme Linguacultural aspects of phone conversation discourse during interpretation. Let me introduce myself. I'm Saodatkhon Urinboeva from Uzbekistan, PhD doctoral student. First of all, let me clarify why we choose this theme for our research work. First of all, let's analyze what is the phone conversation discourse. Phone conversation discourse refers to the structure, language use, and interactional patterns specific to spoken communication over the phone. It includes how participants open and close conversations, manage turns, express politeness, and convey meaning without visual cues. The difference of the phone conversation as a linguistic phenomenon is, of course, it is just consists of visual. It consists of visual without visual cues. That's why it is really important to analyze before just making the interpretation. Linguacultural. Let's turn to this expression, this phrase, this word. Let's say linguistic phrase, expression. Linguacultural refers to the close connection between culture and language. We know culture and language they are really demand each other in order to make the linguistic utterance, let's say. For example, always language should show its own culture, the nation's culture, and of course culture cannot just identify its values without language. That's why they always demand one another, and it emphasizes that communication is not just about words but also about cultural context in which words are used. And right now let's just point out the linguacultural competence and why are they really important in linguistics. What are the linguacultural competence and why it is important? Yes, it's really crucial in linguistics and interpretation because it ensures accurate understanding and translation of meaning by considering both language and cultural context, helping avoid misunderstanding and miscommunication, cross-cultural exchanging, of course. The basic aim of this research work is to show the linguacultural markers in the phone conversation discourse. What are they? They are language elements that reflect cultural values, norms, and communication styles specific to a community. These markers help reveal how culture influences spoken interactions. First of all, key types of linguacultural markers are greetings and openings and closure. For example, in some Western countries, there are just unique ways, the set expressions in order to use while the phone conversations. But in some countries, in some nations, they are just extended and they are not set expressions. They are just up to the situation and situation between of the phone conversation makers. For example, in English, it is always used, "Hi, this is me. Are you okay?" Or in Uzbek, for example, it is always begin, "Assalamu alaikum, yaxshimisiz," let's say, "Good day. How are you? How is your family?" and etc. Or let's say just showing the honor or honorifics, for example, let's say in Japanese, always use it san, for example, Tanaka-san, it's just reflect the honor, or in Russian, Здравствуйте, Ivan Ivanovich, using the whole name, using the name and the patronymic name shows the respect. And the third linguacultural marker is the politeness strategies and indirectness. In different cultures, for example, in English, always use it indirectness. Let's say, I was wondering if you had a moment to talk, please. In Uzbek, agar bezovta qilmasam, in translation it can be, if I'm not disturbing you. And such kind of expressions are used to show the politeness and indirectness. Or using the silence or pauses. In some nations it means just the thoughtfulness, but in some countries, especially Western countries, it gives the meaning just misunderstanding or discomfort. And now let's try to analyze the influence of these linguacultural markers on the interpretation. Linguacultural markers directly affect how meaning is interpreted across languages. Misunderstanding these markers can lead to incorrect or culturally inappropriate translations. For example, in Uzbek, greetings always begin Assalamu alaikum, and we cannot translate it into English just hi. Let's say in English, I was wondering if you could help me. You cannot translate it simply. Yordam ber olasizmi, let's say. Or some idioms, let's say, in English, for example, break the ice. It is not means the muzni sindirish, or in Russian, slomать лед. It needs to be interpreted as начать разговор, start a conversation. And in such cases, interpreters, translators always need to be aware of cross-cultural and linguacultural units and the expressions of the both target language and the source language, of course. When we have to talk, we have to analyze phone conversation discourse. First of all, we should find out the features of these phone conversations. They are mainly 4: opening and closing routines, turn-taking mechanisms, fillers, pauses and repairs, and lack of non-verbal cues. And right now we will see a simple example. We will watch a video of fun conversation between friends, and I'll try to identify, analyze its linguacultural features, and to give my interpretational solutions.
Speaking.
Hello? Is that Mr. Ben?
Yes. Hello. Who's speaking?
It's Martin, Alice's old friend.
Oh, hi. I didn't recognize your voice. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Is Alice in?
Yes, of course. Could you hang on, please? I'll just get her.
Okay, thanks.
Alice, pick up the phone.
Speaking. What's up, Martin?
Nothing much. How do you know it's me?
Your annoying voice is unique.
Ha. Good joke. But you are right. I've been trying to call you all day. I have called you 10 times already. Why aren't you picking up my calls?
I'm so sorry for missing your calls. I was about to call you back. Actually, I couldn't get you through yesterday. The line was engaged. So what were you calling me about?
Listen, I haven't seen you in a long time. I'm calling about John's party on Sunday. Would you like to go there with me?
Haven't thought of it.
Oh, come on. We will be fun.
Okay. I will come along.
All right, I'll come pick you up.
Great. Thanks. But it will be hassle for you driving all the way to me and then driving back into town.
Don't worry about that.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
I'll text you the details.
Cheers for the invite. See you.
See you.
Subscribe to our channel if you like this video.
After watching this short daily conversation, let's turn to discussion them partially. First of all, we have to do some linguistic analysis of the phone talk. Overview. The whole phone conversation's participants are 3 people: Mr. Bean, who is the father or maybe family member of Alice. Alice is the interlocutor and the caller Martin. The context of the conversation is casual, friendly, and it can be seen some elements of humor, informality, and an invitation. Main goal is also the invitation. Linguistical analysis. Let's turn to linguacultural ones. Greeting rituals and identity confirmation. In order to deeply analyze this phone conversation and to prove the whole aspects of phone conversation discourse, let's analyze them sentence by sentence. The first opening part. Speaking. Hello, is that Mr. Bean? These show formal politeness and phone etiquette. It's quite common in British phone calls. In Uzbek, people always use Assalamu alaikum, geçirasiz. And then the response, of course, yes, hello, who is speaking? Neutral tone, culturally polite, direct, but not so rude. The next part of the conversation, it's social recognition through voice. Oh, hi, I didn't recognize your voice. The response of the Mr. Bean reflects voice-based recognition norms, and we can say it's common in phone conversation, where identification is based on vocal tone, as it's a voice conversation, voice-based voice phone call. And there is a noticeable response by Alice. Your annoying voice is unique. Here, there is a special linguacultural marker of the close friendship, as if we can translate it just simply, the meaning may be so rude. For example, in my mother tongue, in the Uzbek nations, that kind of sentence is really rude. But in English and in this conversation, it's quite norm that sarcasm and following answer is also shows just the understanding of the sarcasm by Martin, like, oh, good joke, let's say cool joke. And it shows that the signals of the sarcasm and making a mutual understanding. According to Hall, professor, the worldview linguist, expressed thoughts and said that it shows low contexted communication style. And when it comes to Alice's, I was about to call you back. It's culturally neutral apology, and pragmatic meaning is here to say sorry, that I want to contact with you back. And linguists Brown and Levinson said that it's politeness theory, just face-saving strategy. And here the main aim of the conversation is just invitation, and here the basic invitation strategy is used. Just, would you like to go there with me? And the response is, I haven't thought it of yet, but the caller, the friend Martin, tried try to persuade her friend, we will have fun, come on. And then it shows just the invitation strategies and the politeness. And here Martin's persuasion, oh come on, we will be fun. Here they use a solidarity strategy, emphasizes shared enjoyment in order to persuade his friend. When it comes to interpretation issues, let's say, they are not only this, but most phone conversations interpretation issues is the first one. We can say there are several, and the basic ones just starts with the voice-based ambiguity. Your annoying voice is unique, as an example, could be misunderstood as offensive in cultures that values indirectness or politeness in more nations, especially Uzbek or Korean, etc. Politeness conflicts, let's say, Alice say, it will be hassle for you, something shows other oriented politeness that trying not to impose. In interpretation, failure to convey this modesty may lead to misunderstanding her intent. It's not refusal, but consideration. And tone and sarcasm. The phrase "cool joke" is a sarcastic form of agreement, which may be lost in literal interpretation, especially in intercultural settings. In order to avoid such kind of problematic situations, such kind of misunderstanding or miscommunications, some strategies are, or let's say, should be used by interpreters or translators always, and they are several. The basic ones are pre-conversation briefings. Of course, interpretation is the live linguistic phenomenon. That's why the interpreters always should be ready to translate, to just give just transfer the meaning, not only word for word translation or just turning the sentences into another one, but they always should transfer the real meaning, and sometimes they should omit the unnecessary parts, and sometimes they just add something, do some additions in order to give the correct and full meaning, of course. The next is the awareness of norms in both languages. Of course, the target language and the source language. These both languages sometimes may far from each other, may different culturally, and linguists, translators always should be aware of linguistic norms and some culture-bound terms and realities and etc. And the next is contextual adaptation. Of course, it is really in a short period of time, and that's why while interpreting, adaptation is always necessary. It's just finding the main idea of the sentence, whether it can give pragmatically or just linguaculturally. The translator should always transfer the meaning and should make some smooth the speech or just context in order to give the real meaning. And that's why contextual adaptation is always necessary strategy for interpreting phone conversations, of course. And the next is keeping the tone and the register equivalent. It's also really crucial thing while translating, especially the political phone conversations. It should be really necessary. In a brief time, I'm given a really short time to just try to through my the research works aim. And to conclude, I can say the analysis of phone conversations really important to analyze deeply the language and language and the culture and their usage in communication. Of course, for interpreters and the linguists, they are really important to use such kind of strategies and to be aware of these contextual, these linguistic units and expressions, and etc. That's the final part of the presentation. Thanks for your attention.